Alright guys, I have came back to the creek today. It's dropped even lower. We're gonna get in some of the deeper sections and we're gonna snorkel some for some bottles. So I bought this mask. It's called Sea Touch off of Amazon. It's supposed to have a 180-degree view, and it actually will let you breathe through your nose through the snorkel that you see at the top. And I bought a cheap GoPro knockoff called a Cam Park. So this may not be great footage, but we're going to find out how it works, and we're going to get out here and see if we can find some bottles. That's the main goal today. We'll see what we can find, and if this works out good, then we'll be coming back here regularly, pulling some good stuff out of here. Okay guys, while I've got my head buried in the water here, there's not much for you to listen to besides the rush of the water. So I've decided to do a voiceover, just talk to you a little bit about the location and how we found it and all that good stuff. The location is just south of an old town that was from the turn of the century, the late 1890s into the early 1900s. The town used the creek as a dump. They literally dumped their trash right into the creek. And back then they didn't have the EPA regulations and stuff that we do now. It sounds disgusting, and to me it doesn't make a lot of sense. But where they dumped it downstream from the town, so it didn't wash back towards the town. I still wouldn't have wanted to use the water that was above it, but apparently they did. That being said, there's a large concentration of old bottles and stuff still left in this particular creek, and that's why we're here. Like I mentioned before, we didn't just pick a random creek and start looking for bottles. We did the research and found one that actually was used as a bottle dump. So there's a lot of different things in this creek, though. There's a lot of bricks, there's a lot of glass, there's some old tires. I mean, there's a lot of random trash, but the stuff that we're really looking for is that old glass. In this video, I run across a harmonica reed here in just a minute, which is a pretty nice find to find as fast as the water current was moving. The bottles that we find, some of them are covered in moss, and some of them look like they're almost perfectly clean. You can't see the rock rash because of them being wet. The ones that have the moss on them are in the slower current area of the creek, and the ones that are clean are in the faster moving water. It's almost like a self-tumbler. They roll around the bottom in the sand and the rock, and it just beats all the dirt and mud and moss off, so it keeps them really clean. The other thing is if they're really clean and they're not in a faster water area, faster moving water area, it could be because they've recently washed out of a creek bank. So if they're recently in there, they didn't have time to grow the moss from just sitting there in the sun and the warm water. Down here in Alabama, the 10 and 15 foot holes that we dig are great when the temperatures are right, but we're moving quickly into the summer months, and the summer months mean literally 95 to 100 degree days, sometimes above 100 degrees, and humidity levels close to 100%. So it's almost unbearable digging conditions. So we're going to slowly transition into doing more creek walking and stuff like that for the next few months until it cools down. We're still going to dig, don't get me wrong, but we're just going to start doing stuff that's a little easier on us as well. This creek will raise 5 to 10 feet with a really good rainstorm. So every time there's a good rainstorm, we have to wait 4 or 5 days for the waters to subside and to go down. And once they go down, that's when we go back and we look for the bottles, because that rainstorm will churn the bottom of the creek and the sides of the creek, and everything that wasn't exposed before becomes exposed, and it gives you something to look for. So it's a never ending, it has a never ending life cycle. There's stuff in there that will be for years continue to wash up or from upstream. We may have to go a little further downstream in the future, but for now it works out really well. The bottles from here, one of the ones, or actually both of them that I found, are Pioneer Bottling Works bottles. This company made a bottle that was what I call a stag head or elk bottle, and it has an embossed elk on the side of it. And I'm going to post a picture of this where y'all can see that. It's a beautiful bottle. I've owned several of the Hutchinson style bottles, but I have never owned the crown top version. So I would love to find a crown top in here, and that is my goal this summer, is to actually find one of the crown top elk bottles. So if you ever hear me talk about that in the coming weeks, that's what I'm looking for. That's kind of my goal. They found some great bottles in this particular creek through the years. Several different people that I don't know, but I've heard the stories. So I might even run into a few more guys out there doing the same thing that we're going to be doing. You never know. That being said, this is going to be a very, very fun summer. We're going to have a lot of good footage coming up from some great digs, some great hunts. I'm just excited to show y'all what we've got planned. So y'all stay tuned and please subscribe to see our future adventures.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together, it's so beautiful. You and me, we meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me, we're meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. You and me, meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time.
Alright guys, I learned a few valuable lessons today. I found two nice bottles. A Pioneer Brookside and another Pioneer Brookside. That's a Coca-Cola, a harmonica reed, a mason jar top, and a medicine. And that's all in about 30 minutes, so that ain't too bad. The things that I learned today are to work your way from downstream up, because I muddied the water up down below me. I thought the current would be fast enough to wash it out, and it wasn't. So next time I'll start and work against the current, which is hard. I wasn't wanting to do that, but that's what I'm going to have to do to make it where I can see. The other thing that I learned about this mask is it works great, all except for one thing. The mask fogs up. So I guess I'll look for some anti-fog spray to put on the inside to see if it'll help out. Y'all can see how fogged up it is. The thing about the CamPark camera worked great, except for at 15 minutes it cuts off. I wish I'd have known that, so I don't know if I got those bottles on video or not. We'll have to try that whenever we get home and find out. But either way, this is a first time thing, so it can only get better from here, right? We'll find out. But anyways, I appreciate y'all watching and tagging along. Please be sure to subscribe.